And good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you may be watching, but welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on in the crypto space. So yeah, Bitcoin reached a new all-time high over the weekend, and I think still today it's still rising. We're at $125,098 currently for Bitcoin's price, but let's take a look at that chart. Where did we go last night? So this was yesterday's chart. No, I hit more over the weekend. So yeah, right here on, what was it, October 4th? Was that Friday? Let's see, we're only in the 5th, so this is Saturday. No, we're on the 6th now, so this happened yesterday. So yesterday at around 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, we touched an all-time high of 125,200, but now we still are keeping blasting up. So like, let's see, what's our current all-time high? $125,388, and nothing is stopping this. There is still, like, the government shutdowns is causing it. I have an article going over that. We have institutions like JP Morgan, or was it JP Morgan? Morgan Stanley saying like how much people should allocate into crypto now. And then the population that's going to keep pushing Bitcoin is soon to be a goal for the next 75 years. So let's go through the news articles I have for you, some Twitter posts on what's going on in the space so far, and just hear what's happening in the crypto news. So first up on Twitter, just got to point this out. I remember covering this article when Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin at $54,000. This was before all-time highs even hit. I was like, what are they doing? Pro-crypto president coming in, ETFs just in, halving is coming around. So like they sold at the worst time and they missed out on 3.57 billion in profits. Well, they just got to sit on it. They shouldn't have sold it, but they did. What else is going on? Just in, $6 billion Open Door CEO Kaz Nejatian says they will enable buying a home using Bitcoin and crypto. So even more, like, I forget whose company this is, Open Door, how big they are, but you will be able to buy your housing if you use these guys with Bitcoin or crypto. So that is bullish news right there. Now, Michael Saylor didn't buy any Bitcoin this week, but he did comment on one of Mr. Beast's Twitter posts saying he should buy Bitcoin. And here is the tweet right here. Mr. Beast was calling for, when AI videos are just as good as normal videos, I wonder what they will do to YouTube and how it will impact the millions of creators currently making content for a living. Scary times. And Michael Saylor right underneath going, buy Bitcoin, Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast did like promote the Aster token, which has seen some all-time highs too. It's not currently reaching its previous all-time high so far, but of $2.40. But he promoted that one. But what he needs to do is start pushing Bitcoin, and that's for sure Saylor. So yeah, so that is the Twitter post I have for you for what was going on there. But let's go over the morning minute and Bitcoin smashing new all-time highs with this article. And then how every macro trade right now is a debasement trade, and a term you can expect to hear a lot more frequently in the coming months. So let's hear about this. So the Morning Minute is a daily newsletter run by Tyler Warner. The analysis and opinions expressed are his own and do not necessarily reflect those of Decrypt. So this article is coming from Decrypt and that author. Now, after reclaiming $120,000 late last week, Bitcoin pushed through its August peak and set a new all-time high during Saturday's trade over $125,600. Okay, CoinMarketCap gave us another. But the breakout was clearly driven by inflows. Spot Bitcoin ETFs notched $3.2 billion of net inflows last week, the second best on record, while futures open interest hit fresh highs into the weekend. Now, macro also helped out as the government shutdown seems to have been the catalyst that finally pushed the bankers and advisors into gold and its digital counterpart. So on that note, Morgan Stanley began allowing its 16,000 brokers to solicit spot Bitcoin ETFs for eligible clients. And they're using fresh internal primers to discuss portfolio allocations to Bitcoins, explicitly calling for 0 to 4% allocation, ranging from 0 for wealth conservation, LOL, to 4% for opportunistic growth. And we will cover that article right after this. So how much should you hold, Morgan Stanley reveals? So that'll be right after this article. But in this article, a post on Twitter said, holding the dollar is one of the worst things an investor could do right now for wealth conservation. See below. So we have the debasement trade since COVID. In the USD, the NDX is up 165%, SPX is up 102%, home prices are up 56%, and then in gold, the NDX is up 7%, SPX is down 18%, and then home prices went down 37%. But in Bitcoin's case, the NDX is 78%, SPX is down 84%, and home prices are down 87% in Bitcoin's pricing. So an army of wealth advisors who collectively manage $2 trillion in assets are about to go pitch 2 to 4% portfolio allocations for Bitcoin. I like that setup. Now, what are they saying? Well, the story is simple. Trump said America can grow its way out of debt. What it really means is debasement. Shutdowns highlight the erosion of trust in the U.S. institutions. Bitcoin is the pressure valve, and that's not bearish. S&P is a bearish dollar, said Goldman. Now, the only trade is a debasement trade, said Harlob. Now, this is huge. The new special report from Morgan Stanley, the GIC, we aim to support our financial advisors and clients who may be flexible to allocate their cryptocurrency as part of their multi-asset portfolios. Now, the GIC guides 16,000 advisors managing $2 trillion in savings of wealth. Now, why this matters? Well, everything is a debasement. Every macro trade right now is a debasement trade. Expect to hear that term a lot more frequently in the coming months, said JP Morgan, and he said it's clearly leaning in. Now, it's no coincidence that the same week that the bankers coined and pitched the debasement trade, we saw a near record-setting $3.2 billion into the Bitcoin ETFs. They filed their bags, and now they're pitching those bags to clients, and they're pitching gold and digital gold, which is Bitcoin. Now, I know personally, because my financial advisory literally called me on Friday to pitch me gold, they have a $6,000 price target for 2026, which would be a 50% return from here. Now, I can't wait for the call in a few months when he pitches me Bitcoin. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. And my advice for anyone still clinging on the 4-year cycle for crypto and Bitcoin, the debasement trade doesn't care about the 4-year cycle, he said. So that's another thing. People are talking about this 4-year cycle, like where's Bitcoin going to go? What's happening? So what right now we got to see if Bitcoin will touch the 130 and 150. So if there is still like another, like here's Bitcoin chart. So we're at currently 125. I was listening to Ivan on Tech this morning. He was saying if there is a bear market again, a dip, expect prices around the 130 to $150,000 level for Bitcoin, and from there we'll see. So if prices start going down again, I don't know. Well, we have this little dip right here. But he's saying if there is a bear market, expect to see it maybe around like at prices 130 to 150. So we'll see what goes on in place. But again, we don't know. People are speculating. The cycles are different now. People are still onboarding everything. So don't just rely on the 4-year cycle. Still be speculative, but be ready for either which way it goes. If it goes down, you buy as much as you can still. If it goes up, you just still dollar cost average in, and that's how you're going to be doing it. Now let's talk about the macro, crypto, and memes out there. So a few crypto and Web3 headlines that caught my eye is crypto majors are green after Bitcoin made a new all-time high at $125,000 over the weekend. BNB hit a new all-time high at $1,220, and yes, I'll cover an article on that. ZEC, Aster, MXD also were led the top movers, while gold hit a new all-time high of 39. So there's all-time highs hitting everywhere. The Bitcoin ETF closed a massive week. Morgan Stanley is issuing that. So there's so much bullish news going on for Bitcoin, just why this price is going up and why we're seeing it happen. But in corporate treasury and ETFs, Tether is in talks to raise $200 million with Ant Alpha platform to create a treasury co with the XAUT. It's a gold token. And Defiance failed to launch dozens of leveraged ETFs tied to the Bitcoin funds and crypto equities proposal. Now in memes news, meme coin leaders are Doge, Shiba Inu, Pengu, Bonk, Trump, SPX, and Fartcoin, which are all down negative right now for being the leaders, but these are the leading coins out there news-wise. Now there are airdrops going on right now too. Here's a rundown of the major protocols for airdrops. Aster confirmed its Stage 2 airdrop, which will come on October 14th, with Stage 3 set to begin today. MetaMask debuted its reward program and point system with plans to distribute 30 million Linea, and I'll be covering an article about that one. We got the Meji ETH and Murad. Now, what happened with NFTs this week? Let's see. Nothing really going on there. But when it comes to the macroeconomic side and Bitcoin, like everything's looking very bullish right now with adoption. We're seeing all-time highs everywhere. So if you're surprised that Bitcoin touched $125,000 over the weekend, just keep following the news. Pay attention to what's happening in the space, because I'm not shocked for these prices for where they're at and where they're going. So just keep following the news, keep studying, and keep stacking those sats. So that was the morning minute on Bitcoin. Now let's go over some more about the Morgan Stanley and how much they should reveal. We just heard that they're telling their clients to put at least 0 to 4% into it. Let's break down that article a little bit more. So how much crypto should you hold? Morgan Stanley reveals. So cryptocurrencies have now become a major asset class, walking in line and league with leading safe haven assets like gold and silver. Now, Bitcoin is now hitting a new all-time high of $125,000, displaying its new identity as the digital gold. Now, amid all the latest crypto domain highlights, a new Morgan Stanley report has acknowledged the best way to explore crypto for high-risk portfolios, signaling the shift towards digital assets as the leading wealth-generating class to take over. Now, Morgan Stanley reveals how much one should invest into crypto. So according to the latest Morgan Stanley report, the financial giant has revealed that a high-risk portfolio should have a 4% stake in cryptocurrencies. Now, this new narrative marks a major shift with financial services viewing crypto as a novel wealth-generating opportunity, provided that the domain is explored with great care. The Morgan Stanley Global Investment Committee has advised its clients to allocate 2 to 4% of their stake towards crypto, depending on their risk appetite. So, however, the committee was quick to outline how this allocation should be conservative in the sense that it does not bring excessive volatility to such portfolios. Now, while the GIC allocation models will not include explicit allocations to the cryptocurrency, we aim to support our financial advisors and clients who may be flexibly allocate to cryptocurrency as part of their multi-set portfolio, the report said. Now, Bitcoin, gold, and silver are claiming new highs right now. So the world is now increasingly pivoting towards safe haven assets, with gold, silver, and Bitcoin emerging as the top winners lately. Now, gold and silver have long been touted as the safest asset available, but Bitcoin is new to the league, capturing a new high of $125,000 amid increased investor interest and momentum. Now, this is a widespread rush into the assets that are happening right now. As inflation rebounds and the labor market weakens, the Fed is cutting rates. The USD is now on track for its worst year since 1973, down over negative 10% year to date. The USD has lost negative 40% of its purchasing power since 2020. So take a look at this. The Fed is cutting rates into 4% annualized inflation since 2020, and the Fed is cutting rates into the 2.9% plus the core PCE inflation for the first time since the 1990s. Now, what's really happening here is assets are pricing in a new era of monetary policy. Now, here was a tweet from Kobesi's letter. So this widespread rush into assets happening right now, as we just covered. The US dollar is having its worst year in decades, showcasing this chart from just how much purchasing power it's lost. So that's why we're looking for safe haven assets. Some people are going to gold. So a lot of people are going to Bitcoin right now. So yeah, so that is why Morgan Stanley is telling their clients to. But again, they're still calling it a risky asset. But hey, this is still bigger than the past. Like I said this in many videos beforehand, that like the time is different now. We've never had this much, not just adoption, but just we haven't had this many players on our team. Because right now, like the institutions, governments, they've always been against crypto and Bitcoin for all these years, but now they're on our team. So that's why I always like question like this 4-year cycle. Like with altcoins still maybe and all that, but Bitcoin, I just do not know anymore. We just never had this much going on. So yeah, so take it as it is, but there's calling it risky, but you should know your risk to reward level. Like if you can put some money into this altcoin or not. If you feel like you're too scared to take on that risk, just put into Bitcoin, because that'll be the safest bet you have. But if you're trying to dip into the altcoins to try to increase your wealth by taking a chance, you got to understand your risk level, because otherwise you're just going to pull at the first time of a dip right there and not even hold for the next run up. So that's Morgan Stanley news. But let's continue on with the news. What else is going on? Let's see. We got an article covering how the older, richer investors could power crypto adoption through 2100, which does make sense since Bitcoin's final halving shouldn't take place until the year like 2142 when the final Bitcoin gets mined. So yeah, so this investor power could push adoption for quite some time. But let's hear about Cointelegraph's thoughts on this. So the global aging and rising wealth could boost demand for assets like Bitcoin, with the Fed projecting stronger investment growth through 2100. So global demographic shifts and rising wealth could power cryptocurrencies adoption and asset demand well into the next century. Now, demand for global assets, including cryptocurrencies, is expected to be driven by an aging global population and an increased productivity worldwide, resulting in the older population with more capital to invest. Now, the dynamic will drive asset demand until the year 2100, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. For asset demand, population aging means that the upward trend from recent decades will continue. A research report published on August 25th said that using this demographic projection to extend our historic analysis, we project that aging will raise asset demand by an additional 200% of the GDP between 2024 and the 2100. Now, the report added that this dynamic could imply a continued decline in real interest rates, boosting demand for the alternative investments such as Bitcoin. Now, here is the asset demand, with product growth being yellow, green is demographic, red is the inequality, and then the line is the total. So they're moving along there, but the interest rate continuously going down over those times. Now, investors will value Bitcoin like gold in the next 75 years. So while cryptocurrencies are still considered a risky asset right now, growing regulatory clarity may lead the aging population to value Bitcoin as much as gold over the next 75 years, according to Gracie Chen, the CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange BitGet. Now, about 1/3 or 34% of the global cryptocurrency holders were aged between 24 to 35 as of December 2024. Now, according to that report by crypto payment company AAA, while crypto remains a volatile asset, growing regulatory clarity and institutional products like ETFs could make Bitcoin more attractive to older investors, Chen told Cointelegraph. Now, the maturity of crypto regulations being worked on at the moment can play a good role in fueling future demands for the asset class. Now, Chen added that crypto's growing government backing and proven role as store of value will see that the aging population evolve to the value Bitcoin as much as they have come to value gold within the next 75 years. And here is a chart of the asset allocation snapshot as of May, from Bitcoin to stablecoins, altcoins, and just all the allocations that go into it. But Bitcoin accounted for 1/3 or 30.95% of the total assets in investors' portfolio as of May, which is up 25.4% since November 2024. Now, the rising wealth fuels crypto diversification. Analysis at cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex said that the increasing global wealth will likely translate into greater risk appetite and diversification into emerging asset classes such as crypto. Now, increasing personal wealth increases diversification into newer assets as the risk appetite develops. Now, the analysis told Cointelegraph that we see higher wealth levels feeding through into increased demand for crypto, while investors with longer investments and horizons are more likely to be open to investing in Bitcoin. Now, they added that the younger, the more tech-savvy investors will look more favorable at the altcoins and newer crypto projects, given their greater understanding of the technology and risk tolerance. So like the younger generation right now, like they are the ones most using it and these polls for study. And again, they're going to still continue to go into it. They understand it. Again, we're born with these phones and devices in our hands from birth nowadays. So like it's a second nature to us. Versus the older generation, like right now at this current time in history, a lot of these people like missed out on the technology boom. Like they had a job growing up, they were making really well income. They didn't need to know this new technology emerging, using the internet, using computers. They thought they wouldn't need to, but here we are today in a day where we use the internet for everything. Our phones are the strongest computers, like from back when they put the first man on the moon. So it's just like technology has risen so much they need to get in. So I'm seeing a lot of the old generations get in there. They want to learn about it, but they got to learn the technology first. While the younger generation, like my age to 24, already understand it, know how to get involved with it. And then the next generation beyond that, they're just going to be seeing like Bitcoin as the new gold, as the generation now sees it. So this is going to be fueling all the way to the year 2100 and probably beyond right now. But these are the statistics there. But let's take a quick commercial break right now, and I will be back with at least 4 more articles for you guys. But yeah, here's a quick ad, and I'll be right back.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we're back. So yeah, guys, if you need more information about our programs we offer here at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, go to bitcoinben.io or give us a call or text at 941-413-8080. Now let's dive right back onto the news. But first up, what up, Steven? Thank you for being here. It's good seeing you. And love the new ad. Thanks to Bitcoin Ben. He created that using AI. And if you're looking for AI to make short videos, a good platform is NVIDIA. You guys want to utilize AI tools as much as you can, whether it be Twitter's Grok program. Here, if you have a premium profile, Grok, you can ask it whatever you want. Usually when I help some of my titles, I need a title for today's show. Boom. And so AI will help you with everything. It's Grok, what's the vibe? So yeah, it'll give me a French. I gave it more info. Use ChatGPT for that too. You can ask it anything you like. I usually help it with my PowerPoints when I make that. Or again, what was that other one I just said? Bookmarks. I know I have it on here. NVIDIA. No, but here we go. NVIDIA. So this, let's see, AI video. I know I didn't have this all prepped up. So in video, create videos at scale, AI just a text. You can give it a little text promptly, give it all the information you need, and it'll pull out commercials like that. So yeah, guys, utilize AI whenever you can. It's a cool tool that's just basically, it just makes it so much easier. I remember back in the day, for me studying with the internet, it was just I go to Google, I'd ask it a question. How do I do this? Then it pulls me all these articles I would have to go into, click, read the article, get the information. But now with AI, I can just ask it that same question. It does the reading for you, so you don't have to click. So this is a technology that is evolving. It's going to be a part of our life, just like the internet is. So start utilizing it now as much as you can. Okay, so let's continue on with the news. So let's talk about BNB's all-time high. So it's not just Bitcoin reaching all-time highs. Binance did too, which I guess over the weekend was $1,196. But at current price, we're at $1,219. So what was its current all-time high? $1,237. So it's not just Bitcoin. I think we're in the altcoin season, just literally happening now. But BNB has smashed its previous ceiling, reaching the 1,196 level. Now, what's driving the rally and what's next for this crypto giant? So let's find out. So the new peak for BNB. The Binance coin has just stormed past its prior limits, touching a new all-time high as markets buzz with excitement. Now, according to CoinMarketCap, this range represents its latest all-time high right now, and this surge marks one of the sharpest upward moves in BNB's recent history. Now, catching many traders off guard, notably, the previous reports has pegged earlier's all-time highs of around $1,100 to $1,111, suggesting this recent push is clear breakout beyond these levels. Now, what's fueling the rally? Well, there's on-chain metrics and ecosystem momentum. Activity on the BNB chain is heating up. The total value locked, the active users, and the transaction count have all been trending upward. Network upgrades like reductions in the minimum gas price also make it more efficient and appealing. And in addition, institutional and treasury accumulation is contributing to an upward pressure. Now, also, the broader market settlement. BNB has been riding the broader bullish wave in crypto markets. When big names like Bitcoin and Ethereum rally, the momentum often spills over into the major altcoins like BNB. Also growing speculation about institutional instruments like ETF talk, etc. And this is boosting its confidence. Now, what comes next? Let's find out. The resistance and targets. The psychological hurdle at $1,200 is now squarely in focus. If momentum holds, the next major zone could lie between $1,250 to $1,300 per coin. But without a strong follow-through, BNB might struggle to sustain above the 1,200. Now, there are risks and pullbacks. Overbought indicators could invite short-term corrections. A dip below key support levels, which are near prior all-time highs, could lead to retracements, and the broad market volatility or macro headwinds, regulation, economic shifts might derail further advances. So we'll see where it keeps going. Like, we're at a support level now. We'll see a short-term low, maybe, as it just makes room for a higher leg up. But yeah, so that's BNB hitting all-time highs, and there's more happening on-chain too, because I believe PancakeSwap, the DEX, unleashed a powerful cake pad to unlock early token access. So PancakeSwap is the leading decentralized exchange on BNB, and so this made the news too, so which is also potentially fueling the BNB price movement. But PancakeSwap DEX unleashes a powerful cake pad to unlock early token access. So PancakeSwap, the largest decentralized exchange on the BNB chain, has unveiled CakePad, a reworked version of its initial farm offering. Now, the new platform will offer early access to token launches without staking or lockups, while tying participation directly to cake deflationary tokenomics. Now, the rollout is part of PancakeSwap's plan to expand its area of influence in the early access token market. Now, this is a new era for the token launches. CakePad replaced the older IFO model with a streamlined process that any wallet holder can commit cake during a sell window and later claim the new asset. Now, this shift eliminates the previous requirements of staking and complex participation steps. Now, PancakeSwap emphasized its non-custodial approach, highlighting that users retain control of their assets while gaining access to new listings before they even hit the exchanges. Now, the model mirrors centralized exchange funnels like Binance Launchpad, but removes lockups aiming to attract broader participation. Now, what are the deflationary mechanics at the core of this? Well, one of these standout features of CakePad is the integration with Cake's deflationary system. In a press release, PancakeSwap confirmed that 100% of the participation fees will be burned, thus reducing the circulating supply. Another adding features is its fair tiered subscription tax for oversubscribed sales, with tax rates decreasing as oversubscription increases. And the mechanism is meant to balance demand while strengthening Cake's long-term supply reduction goals. And PancakeSwap has previously outlined ambitions for the 4% annual deflation and its 20% supply cut by 2030. Now, there is the competitive positioning in early access markets. Early access tokens and venues have become a staple across crypto. Centralized exchanges often require users to lock up tokens or accumulate points, creating barriers to entry. Now, CakePad has positioned itself as a more open alternative to this, offering flexibility and transparency. By removing staking and lockups, Pancake is betting on accessibility as a differentiator. Now, the move also strengthens its standing as a leading DeFi exchange, following its $79.8 billion trading volume in July, despite the broader market decline. Now, looking ahead with the Tokenomics 3.0, CakePad is part of PancakeSwap's Tokenomics 3.0 plan, which aims to increase Cake's utility while maintaining its reduction goal. The platform structure proposes multiple investment opportunities for users. However, no initial projects or timelines have been announced. Now, thanks to the Fusion token launches and the deflationary mechanics, PancakeSwap is potentially positioning CakePad as both a growth engine and reinforcement of Cake's long-term value and proposition. So very nice. I love hearing these upgrades take place with it, especially with PancakeSwap, because these are one of the tokens I do have in my little portfolio. So I'm not saying to get this coin. I'm just saying it is moving quite well. I have all my coins in my trading portfolio. Again, I'm not a day trader. This is my separate portfolio for investments. I still have my other savings account one, which just holds all my Bitcoin that I'm not touching ever. But on this side, yeah, Pancake is one of my coins I have in there, and it's up at least 50% since I got in. So I hope that momentum keeps going. Let's keep going, PancakeSwap or Cake. But yeah, so that's our PancakeSwap news and basically our BNB, what's going on there. Aster, they did get relisting on BNB coin. I didn't pull up that article for that. But lots of momentum's happening on Bitcoin and BNB in the entire crypto space. Now let's move on to our next article, talking about a MetaMask reward program that's going to distribute 30 million Linea in its first season. So let's find out about this. So MetaMask. In this post, MetaMask will partner with Linea for one of the biggest airdrops in the crypto space. In Season 1, the wallet will distribute $30 million in Linea tokens, which may affect the eventual distribution of Mask tokens. So MetaMask will distribute 30 million Linea tokens through its point farming program announced by the wallet operator, and the on-chain program should become active in about 2 weeks. Now, MetaMask debunked other rumors out there on the nature of the airdrop and announced its rules for Season 1, which will distribute Linea tokens. The wallet operator avoided calling the program point farming, instead calling it the biggest on-chain incentive. Now, the wallet operator explained that the program would also include yield referral rewards, which is the MUSD incentive, exclusive partner rewards, and exclusive access to tokens. Now, initial incentives and rewards will also come to regular users with a long trading history. The wallet operator aims at rewarding long-term users, so the incentive program may work best for an old wallet with a significant history of Ethereum gas usage. Now, additionally, data points to a possible point distribution with 80 points for each $100 in the spot trading, 10 points for future trading, and 250 points for each $1,250 in the past trades. Now, MetaMask swaps and trades are relatively expensive. Previously, the wallet operator has hinted at airdrops leading to the expanded trading activity. Now, the current incentive program may compensate some of the users for their expensive swaps, while MetaMask remains tokenless. Now, MetaMask has not given up on the token creation. The founder of Consensus and Ethereum, Joseph Lubin, mentioned that previous leaks about MetaMask's reward program, and the MetaMask will now try to deepen its reach by distributing Linea tokens and incentivizing Linea on-chain activity. Now, Lubin mentioned a MetaMask token may be coming after the first season of incentives, leading up to a TGE and a Cryptopolitan report earlier. Lubin has mentioned a commitment to an airdrop, though without a specific deadline at the roadmap. So if you're looking for the MetaMask token, which we've heard they were going to be coming out with, looks like Joseph Lubin's saying that it won't be till after this drop will take place. So most likely Season 2. So still unaware of these seasons or why they're calling it that, but we'll find out more as time comes around. But yeah, so this is going to incentivize you to actually make trades and swaps and interact using the MetaMask wallet out there, and that's how you'll be earning these coins. So if you want to take part of this drop, hopefully use a wallet, an older MetaMask wallet you've had for some time. You've done lots of transactions on it. That can probably get you the most of these airdrop tokens. But the new incentive and reward program, as well as the eventual MetaMask token, still do not mention the KYC requirement for receiving payouts. Will there be a KYC? We don't know yet. Now, the other concern is that users will once again be pressured to pay high fees for transacting and trading on MetaMask, but some users called for rewarding early adopters without additional spending requirements. Now, Linea posts low address activity growing app revenues, so the MetaMask incentive program may boost Linea's usage as the chain has seen fewer active wallets in the past months, and Linea carries around 26,000 daily active wallets, down from a brief September peak at over 350,000 daily active wallets, so that's a pretty big decline. The chain also carries around 134,000 transactions daily. However, Linea is growing its app space and secured value stats, locking in over 2.3 billion in tokens and stablecoins. The chain carries around 233 million in stablecoins, and the total app revenue as of October is at around $331,000. Now, Linea tokens have settled at around the 0.027 cents mark, with chopping trading at the past few weeks, and the token itself was one of the most long-awaited airdrops, though some of their tokens were sold for profit soon after the launch. So with these coins coming out with the airdrop, it might be the same thing out there too. But again, if you want to be a part of this airdrop, you got to be an active MetaMask user, and they're going to reward long-term holders. So you don't have to jump right on board with this wallet, make these trades, get a part of it. So if you have an old wallet that you've been using, that you'll be able to take part with this, but there's still no word on there's no steps or instructions for what you need to do to claim it. So we're still waiting on that information, but this is just an update to that rewards program with MetaMask. Now let's cover our final article of the evening, which Unity patches an Android game vulnerability that risks crypto user security. So for all you gamers out there downloading games on Steam, hopefully this patch fixes that problem, and that way your cryptos are still safe. But security experts warn that the flaw could affect applications dating back to at least 2017 with potential exposure across Android, Windows, Mac OS, and Linux platforms. Let's see what happened. So Unity Technologies has released a critical securities patch for its game engine, addressing a vulnerability that could have exposed Android-based mobile gamers, including crypto users, to potential attacks. Now, this was first discovered in June and publicly disclosed last week. The bug allowed malicious third-party applications on the same device to execute local code and gain access to sensitive information stored in the Unity-built apps. Now, security experts warn that the flaw could affect applications dating back to 2017, with potential exposures across Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux platforms. Now, Unity confirms that the patch deployment says that no evidence of the exploitation has been found, but in a statement on Friday, Unity's director of community, Larry Major Nelson Hirib, confirmed that the patches had been deployed. Now, there is no evidence of active exploitation, said Hirib, and adding that there had been no reported impact on the users or customers. So the vulnerabilities came to light through research from GMO Flat Security's Riotac, who described how the bug could be used to hijack app permissions and remote execute arbitrary code. Now, Google, in a statement to Cointelegraph, urged developers to apply the patch immediately and republish any affected games. Now, Unity has advised that all developers to download the updated Unity editor before making new builds and to rebuild and republish any previously released games to ensure user safety. Now, Microsoft also issued a security alert stating that the affected games on Windows are being updated through a console games remain unaffected. So Windows Defender has been updated accordingly. Now, mobile users have been encouraged to update their devices, enable auto updates, and maintain active antivirus software. The Android built-in malware protection has also been strengthened. Now, I would go against the enable auto updates because, again, you don't know when malicious updates get pushed through, like we saw with Atomic Swap crypto wallets update. So do not turn on the auto update feature. At least give it a week before you do any update out there. This is how you can at least stay safe in there. But you do want your devices and computers up to date as much as possible. But when a brand new one comes out, just give it some time to make sure that there's no vulnerability in that update and that you're safe to do so. So I want to say that because of this. But the vulnerability's impact on the crypto community is particularly notable given that the growing number of blockchain-based mobile games and Web3 apps are built using Unity. Now, malicious actors exploiting the bug could have gained access to private keys, wallets, or other confidential data stored within these apps. Now, game studios like Obsidian Entertainment have reportedly pulled several titles from digital storefronts as a precaution while implementing Unity's fix, according to GameRant. Now, Unity, whose engine powers more than 70% of the top 1,000 mobile games, remain a cornerstone of mobile gaming and real-time applications development, a position that underscores the importance of swift responses to security threats across its ecosystem. Now, there have been crypto hacks that caused $127 million in losses in September. So, crypto-related hacks caused at least $127.06 million in losses in September 2025, marking a 22% decline from August's $126 million, according to blockchain security firm PeckShield. So, luckily, that number is going down. Now, the month saw nearly 20 major exploits, with incidents heavily concentrated in just a few large-scale attacks. Despite the drop, the industry experts emphasize that DeFi and blockchain platforms remain highly vulnerable to security breaches out there. And here is PeckShield's chart on that. Now, the two biggest hacks involved was a UX Link and Swissborg, accounted for a combined $85 million with their hike. The UX Link lost $44.14 million after its multi-sig wallet exploited, leading to the unauthorized minting of 10 trillion tokens and a 90% crash in its token price. And the Swissborg suffered a $41.5 million loss in Solana after hackers breached its API partner, Kiln, and both companies are working with exchanges, law enforcement, and white hat hackers for damage control and user compensation. Now, other incidents including a 13.5 million phishing attack on the Venus protocol, users of which 13 million was recovered, and additional smaller exploits targeting platforms like Yala, Griffin AI, and Shibarium Bridge. So hacks are still going to be going on around the world and all the time, but luckily these hacks are these hacks for the month of September have gone down since August. But luckily also with this patch that nobody was affected. There was no evidence that anybody had their crypto stolen from it. But the team behind the patch found out that this was a vulnerability. So luckily that nobody was affected. They patched it up. So if you're a gamer out there, this again, mostly the gamers out there. If you're not a video game player, you don't got to worry about this hack, but still learn about the importance about just updating your devices, wallets, because again, they need to be up to date because they may be patching up some vulnerability in there. But that is basically our hack and scam news of the day. And that is it, though, for all the news I have for you guys. Yeah, so markets are still doing pretty good. Bitcoin is at $125,200, so we're still holding that position through this entire video. Ethereum's at 4,600. What was Ethereum's all-time high? Let's take a look at that. Let's see, 4693. So even Ethereum has experienced all-time highs. I didn't even catch that. So Ethereum's catching all-time highs. BNB is seeing all-time highs. I do not think XRP is seeing an all-time high. What was XRP's all-time high? Let's see, $3.84. So no, we are still a ways from there. What about Solana? What was Solana's previous all-time high? We were at $294. So it's still making its way there as well. But Ethereum, BNB, Bitcoin, and who's next? We just got to wait and see. But I feel like alt season is around the corner. Our fear and greed index right now is at a 59, so we're neutral, making our way into greed territory, and the altcoin season chart is at 66 out of 100. So guys, keep stacking those sats. Have fun with the altcoin space. Let's take some gains and just push that back into Bitcoin and just hodl for the long term. So everyone, I hope everyone has an awesome Monday. It's a new week. Let's grind. Let's hustle. And if you guys need help purchasing Bitcoin or just learning about it, consider joining the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, or if you want to take advantage of all the programs we offer, go to bitcoinben.io or give us a call at 941-413-8080. So everyone, have an awesome Monday, and I'll see you again tomorrow with some more crypto news. Peace.
For years, banks promised innovation. But they gave us fees and friction and fine prints. Today, all that changes. Introducing Private Key Bank from Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, the world's first Bitcoin native credit union. Rebuilt from the ground up in the heart of El Salvador, a place where your Bitcoin isn't just stored, it grows. Earn 4% interest paid in Bitcoin. Compounded, secured, and accessible. No middlemen, no hidden games, just your money working for you. Send funds across borders instantly, without SWIFT codes, without currency conversions. Pay anyone, anywhere, with a tap of a finger. This isn't banking as usual. This is freedom, beautifully engineered. The future of finance is finally here.